Hello everybody! In Crusader Kings 3, gold is the key to get started and dominate. How we saw in previous video of this playlist, you need a passive income that can be achieved by building specific structures in your castles. If you are new and still haven't watched the previous tutorial, I highly recommend you to check it out using the link in the description. Anyway, in this video you will learn how to get active income. This means that differently to the taxes that you get by just waiting, this type of income requires you to perform specific actions each time, but to compensate your time, usually they give you great rewards that can help you to get enough money to invest in your buildings. So, let's see what exactly you have to do in order to get monetary rewards from wars and politics. Going back to the topic, the easier way to get money is by doing some wars that not only will give you good monetary rewards, but also prestige, and if you use the right casus belli, new territories as well. Usually, when you go at war, it can cost you a small price in gold and prestige. The gold is spent when you create the casus belli, while the prestige when you declare the war. In case you need some help to learn more about the casus belli and in general how to declare all type of wars, you can check a more detailed guide linked in the description. But in case you already know how to do so, when you start the war, you need to destroy enemy armies and siege their castles in order to win it. When you perform this task from castles, you will get the loot displayed in their information tab. Also, when you fight enemy armies and as well conquest castles, you can capture prisoners. The last one, in some cases, when you attack massive kingdoms, they can be exchanged with a good amount of gold. Each castle can host several important people that can be used to make money. This means that more castles you conquer during a war, the more money you can get from its loot and from exchanging prisoners. In fact, when you start a war, I highly recommend that you destroy the enemy army first, in order to prevent them from attacking your own castle. Then start to conquer any single castle and city the enemy owns. Do this action even if you already reached the enemy's surrender requirement, in order to maximize your potential final revenue from this war. In case you do this with a big kingdom or even empires, it can take a lot of time, so it is better to get one or two full siege regiments in order to easy and fast conquer a lot of castles. Next, you need to open the court tab, then go in the prisoner section. Below each prisoner you can find 3 options. The first, called the ransom, allows you to exchange them for gold, or hooks in case they don't have enough gold or income. If you use the issue notification tab, you can directly check and ransom only the people who can give you money in exchange. But be careful, in some cases the person that has to pay the ransom doesn't have enough money to pay the full price. So you can decide to wait, giving them time to accumulate enough to pay the full price, or just accept what they can afford. To decide if to wait or accept what they have, you need to watch how much time the prisoner will be arrested. Because if you didn't choose any action, the prisoner will be anyway released after a specific amount of time, without giving you any reward in exchange. Another factor you have to consider is if the prisoner is in good health. This is because he can die in the prison if he is already ill or wounded. The last factor to consider is if the person that has to pay for the release is a vassal or a king, because only who owns territories can accumulate gold. The others, like a simple courtier or a normal court guest, didn't control any territory, therefore they can't have any money. Also, if you imprison any of your own family, the option can be used, but you can't click the ransom option. This is because you can't pay yourself to release your own family. In the last 2 cases, you can use the second option in order to recruit them, force them to become monks, get hooks and ask them to convert to your religion, while the last option is needed to execute your prisoners. But be careful with this last option. Despite it is raising your dread, it also hugely decreases the opinion the family of this person has on you. This means that if you execute some family members of your own vassal, they can create a revolt against you. While if you do this to any enemy, they will find a way to declare another war with you. The first can be done if you want to revoke titles from your own vassals without being seen as a tyrann. The second to provoke a wars with other realms. In this case, if the war was declared to you and you win it, you will get a great amount of monetary and prestige compensation besides the loot from enemy castles and prisoners. To finish with prisoners, there are two little tricks you can use. The first is in case you have too many prisoners. In this case, you can mass ransom or negotiate the release using the specific button in the prisoners tab. Don't worry, if they can't afford to pay the release, they won't be released. The second trick is in case you are waiting for the king or vassal to get enough money to pay the full price. In this last case, if the release date becomes too close, you will get a specific issue notification that alerts you to take any action before they get released. Now, in the previous video I told you that in the stewardship lifestyle you can unlock also the golden obligation perk. This one allows you to demand payments in exchange for your hooks. This can be used on the prisoners as well, considering that they can be forced to give you a hook on them in exchange for their release. This is useful if you captured several important prisoners during a war, but the release price for all of them is too high to be paid all in one before they get released, allowing you to get the maximum reward for each prisoner. But this isn't the only way to get hooks. The alternative is to use your spy master in order to search secrets in any court you want. It can take several months to find some secrets, but once you will find them, you can transform them in hooks. And to do so, you need to open the Intrigue tab, then go in Hooks and Secrets. Here you will find 3 tabs. The hooks you already hold, the secrets you know, and the hooks that other people hold on you. In case of the hooks you hold, it is easy enough to use. Just right-click the person you want to force to pay in exchange for your hooks, then click on the main payments. In case this option is disabled, it means that they didn't hold any gold. Next, for the secret known to me section, you have 2 options. One is to expose, while the second is to blackmail for a hook. The first option will reveal to all people their sins, but you will lose the hook for this. This is needed to decrease intentionally their opinion on you, that in some cases can result in revolts and wars. Also, revealing enemy secrets will lower their prestige and the pity as well. While if you use the blackmail for a hook, you will receive the hook on this person if he accepts. Otherwise, the only option will be left is to expose him. Once you obtain the hook, they will be moved in the previous tab. Then if you have the perk to demand payments, you can exchange it for gold. While if you didn't have the perk, in case the hook is on any of your feudal vassals, you can right-click it and use the hook in order to revoke their titles in order to get control of their territory, or to modify their feudal contracts that will allow you to raise their taxes and the levies they will give to you. Each hook can be used to raise by 1 their obligation without being considered a tyrant. This is always a better long-term option with respect to the domain payments. But in case you have the generous trait, you will always gain stress for demanding payments in exchange for hooks. While if you have the honest trait, you will gain stress even by blackmailing for hooks. In the second case, you can bypass the blackmail by unlocking the Truth is Relative perk from the Scammer tree in the Intrigue lifestyle. That will give you directly hooks when your spy master will find secrets. Thus you will unlock the Fabricate Hook scheme, allowing you to create hooks on any person you want, using its specific scheme. The best use for it is to target the most rich rulers you will find, in order to get their money thanks to the domain payments, or just to raise at maximum level your vassal obligations. For the Find Secrets activity, your Spy Master Intrigue ability influences the speed and efficiency on finding secrets and hooks. Also, when you choose the territory where to find secrets, keep an eye on the chance on finding secrets, their monthly progress and completion time. This because some territories are easier to check and others harder. So it is important that you choose the easier location in order to maximize the hooks you will gain over time. In order to optimize the process, you can focus on the Intrigue lifestyle. Not only for the perks I mentioned previously that transform secrets directly into hooks, but also for other perks that will help you in these tasks. And they are the digging for dirt that will speed up by 25% the Find Secrets progress. Next, in the scheme tree, we have a Job Done Right perk that will increase the success of your hostile scheme's chance that is useful to get easier hooks with the Fabricate Hook scheme. But one of the most important perks of the Scammer tree is the Twice scheme that will allow you to conduct one extra scheme in the same moment. Consider that by default you can conduct only one scheme at a time. This means that with this perk you can conduct two, allowing you to double the hooks you can fabricate and money you can make from them. To maximize the efficiency of your schemes, you also need the last perk of the Scammer tree that gives you the Scammer lifestyle trait, that not only raises your Intrigue ability but also raises your hostile scheme power by 25%. Another powerful Intrigue activity you can do is to torture your prisoners. In particular, is good while you are at war, because of frequency of prisoners you can get in these moments. You can torture any prisoners you have that will allow you to gain hooks on them or other people they associated with, like their vassals or kings. In other words, you can torture the prisoner to get a hook on their vassal, ransom them for extra gold, then use their hook they give you in order to demand another payment. To optimize this process, you can unlock special traits in the Torture tree in the Intrigue lifestyle. The first is the Dark Insights perk that will give you 1 point of Intrigue or Prowess skill points each time you torture someone. Then the next and most important perk you need before even start torturing your prisoners is the Divine Retribution. This because when you torture someone it makes you lose a lot of pity and church opinion, while with this trait you won't lose any of this, making this activity only profitable without consequences. The next important perk is Thriving in Chaos trait that will raise your martial, intrigue and prowess skill for each stress level. This is important to have because torturing people sometimes will cause stress, in particular if you have specific traits like compassion, allowing you to get bonus skill points if you gain stress by doing this activity. But be careful with this stress, it decreases your health, so it is better to keep it low. In fact, you can decide to do this lifestyle if you have the Zealous trait, because it will hugely decrease your stress level each time you torture someone. Next perk you will find useful is the Prison Feudal Complex that will rise by 50% the chance to imprison anyone by using the specific interaction with the character. While the last perk that gives you the Torturer trait will raise your prowess skill, dread gain, hostile scheme resistance and the levy size as well. The most important of which is the dread gain, considering that it will make your vassals terrified by you. This is in particular powerful combined with the Fear Taxes perk you will unlock before, that will hugely raise all taxes you will gain from your vassals if they are intimidated or terrified by you. To make it easy on gaining good dread, you can also set up your lifestyle focus to intimidate. Otherwise, you can choose the school dagger focus that will help your spy master easier to find secrets thanks to the agent acceptance boost.